Oh boy. Oof. This German woman just started World War III with black women in America. God damn it. Oh, let's get into it, shall we?
What are you doing, Stero?
You had this average black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity because I was not loud. I was not screaming. I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say, right? So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come out of nowhere and just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this. So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him. Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family.
Interracial relationship is a very complex topic because there are so many nuances that comes with it. On one hand, you have the Dr. Umar type that tend to be quite hostile towards men who actually date outside of their race, calling them coons and all type of names.
Dark-skinned men are cooning out of control so far in 2024.
And then you do have women who are like unsuccessful in their own relationship. They are butthurt. Instead of looking into the mirror, they tend to try to blame the opposite sex or even double down and saying that, we didn't want you anyway. You corny, you weak, you this, you that. That's why you had to go outside of your race. And then you also have those who also are the same way. Are just as hostile towards, let's say, black women by saying that, I'm better than you. That's why, I have options. I go outside of the race because you are not feminine. You are unattractive. Basically putting down, black women and stuff like that. And then you do have those type of women, right?
Yes, I did say the average black American family barely has a family unit. Not even in that statement, I generalized all black families in America that they don't have a family unit. I lived in America for 2 years and I've seen a lot of messed up things in black households, white households, and I very soon came to the conclusion, coming from a traditional household, that there is something seriously wrong that's going on in those households in America.
Then I guess the question that I have is that if you were talking about American household as a whole, then why did you feel the need to single out just one particular race?
I was flabbergasted at the amount of disrespect an average American man would have to deal with coming from the woman of the household. I mean, these women, not only that they were disrespectful, they were lazy too. And I heard them speak a certain way to their children that had me in complete...
Like the German chick, that create like a facade, like a false sense of who they actually are as far as, this meek, feminine type of woman. Come here, black man. I love you, black.
I love you, black man.
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 I love you,
black man. Blah, 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 right? And then therefore, and for those who have been starving of femininity or love or what they believe love is, it's easier to actually fall for that fake facade. I'm telling you right now, as someone who's married to not a German chick, my wife, she's Polish, as someone who is married to a Polish woman, right, and I have been living amongst the Polish culture for a while, and I do see how these women are, they're not that submissive. European women are not as submissive as this lady try to portray it to be. Yeah, are they like, more family oriented than the culture in the West? Yes, they are. But they are just as assholish to their husband when they need to be. European women are freaking tough, right? They're not as submissive as this lady try to portray they are. Trust me.
Some of you didn't believe me when I was talking to you about German women and their love for black men. Well, listen to the next video. And also, their accent totally reminds me on the days when I was going to school and learning that proper Oxford English.
America, of course.
Yes.
First of all, and of course, of the
a little bit body.
Yeah, but not that much. The personality counts.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I don't care at all, but I'm really into black men. I have my expert.
So why are you into black men? Tell me why.
I don't know. I think they have like charisma and but I have good experience with them, and I don't know, I have a lot of fun with them.
So only black now, nothing else.
Yeah, once you go black, you never go back.
There is a difference between those who are interracially dating versus those who are truly in interracial relationship and stuff like that, right? And I think the slight difference is if you are with a person because of the color of their skin, but not the content of their character, then you're just interracially dating. You're not really intertwined into who you truly are in that relationship with. You just have some sort of fetish or of that person and stuff like that, and the idea of being an interracial relationship. Because at the end of the day, you should marry that person for who that person is, not the color of their skin. The content of their character is what truly matters in a relationship. And one of the things that tends to irritates me about those who are interracially dating, or they tend to feel like there's a need to crap on the other person's culture, or be a little bit quite hostile or stuff like that, like this lady is doing. I understand, like, there are certain truth to what she's saying, and which I'm going to address that in a minute as well too. But it's like, I've seen some of the treatment that some European men have garnered at the hands of European women, and I'm telling you right now, they don't treat these European men any better than I see some of the treatment that African American men have undergo under the tutelage of African American women. So all come down to who you are as an individual. Are you the type of person that actually treat others with respect, or are you the type of person that just try to step on others and shit like that? And then unless you need that person, so then you try to, like, fake that femininity and stuff like that, or fake that level of should I say submission, just so you could actually get them into your good side, and then do what you need to do. Like a little bit manipulative, in my opinion.
The video, I guess it was of like the German lady talking about all these wonderful things that she did and how she keeps her man and how he was so excited to leave the black community. I don't know. To that, I just want to say it's 2024. Like, we have access to the internet, TikTok, Instagram, like books, audiobooks that read to you while you're driving. Like, nothing she said is new and is creative. So I'm pretty sure a lot of women know to do those things. A lot of times the issue that we have as black women is we are so underappreciated that we don't want to do those things. We don't want to. So we have to find a man that is worthy of that. We're not just going to say, oh, a black man. Oh, I'm going to do all of these things for him. No, I'm not doing that. Sorry. What I also want to hit on is the first thought process that came into my mind, and I have said this before to like family and friends. The benefits that you guys speak so highly about when it comes to other races, the femininity, the girliness, she's spoiled, she comes from a great family, like she knows how the dynamic works with a woman and a man. That is the work of a non-black man. He instilled those types of things into his woman and his culture. He set the example by being the provider, being the lead, and putting himself in a position where he can have authority over his women to the point where they are submissive and they know how to treat a man. Now, the loud, obnoxious, stereotypical, terrible black woman is the work of a man of color. So it seems to me that most of you guys, other races of women, when they get on these platforms and brag about how they're so much greater, you both want to run into the sunset off of the work of another man. You know what I'm saying? This had nothing to do with a man of color. Your father, who I guess assume is German, must have raised you in this type of way, and here you are, I don't want to say it, but I'm a perspective person. I think
I agree about some of the things that she said, right? When it comes to women having a level of respect towards their men and stuff like that, right? Sometimes respect is not just given freely, it has to be earned, right? And there are levels to these things. For example, right, take me for instance. When I was like a community dig, I was just cheating on my girl and all that stuff. I was being dishonest in my relationship. My girl did not have the level of respect that she now has towards me right now, because I'm handling business as a husband. I'm doing what I need to do. I have integrity. I have courage. I'm truthful. I'm more brutally honest about what I want. And therefore, because of my behavior now, then she is more submissive. She's more catered to what I actually need, right? But beforehand, there was a struggle because she was insecure about her role in the relationship, and I was also insecure about my role in the relationship. So then, therefore, that had caused us to bump head, and therefore, we were I wasn't being my true self. But once I actually became who I was meant to be, right, as an individual, and like that level of respect in her eyes grew, and to the point now we actually have way less trouble than we did beforehand, and she's a lot more submissive than she was prior. Now, as far as some of the treatment, all right, or the rhetoric that actually is surrounded by about the stereotype of black women, I would have to say I gotta blame you guys gotta take some of that blame. I'm talking about African American women. Some of you guys have to take some of that blame about the stereotype that it has been bestowed upon you. What I mean by this, you allowed ratchet behavior to dictate the narrative about who you are as individual, right? Because someone who has spent enough time on both European cultures, black cultures, whatever the case may be, right? I've seen plenty of submissive women in all type of culture, right? Just like black women can be submissive too. Shit, I've seen them in my family. I've seen how some of my family members, how they behave when they actually are married towards their husband. They're very sweet. They're very kind. They have rough patch, of course, but there's a level of respect and people can actually see that. They honor their husband, right? And I've seen like one of my cousins, he's married to an African American woman, and this chick, and I've seen their dynamic. They look pretty awesome together. I'm very proud of them. Right? And my sister, like, she does all the cooking and cleaning for her men and stuff like that, and she's very, she's very sweet towards him. Do they have their rough patch? Of course they do. Do they argue sometimes? Of course they do. But I've seen enough example to know that African American women or black women as a whole can be just as submissive as European women or white women or whatever, women throughout the world. Because at the end of the day, women are women. Right? But when you allowed a certain bad actors to dictate your image, who you are as individual, and you actually remain silent when you are even encouraging type of behavior like the wife of Atlanta and the Cardi B's and all these other ratchet individuals to dictate who you are, then therefore it makes it easier for other women throughout the world, especially those who are competing with you. They're gonna take those examples, be like, see, black men, we do not behave in such behaviors. We are very sweet, we are very submissive, we are not as trifling as these women, as you can see here on the TV screen, right? And that's the problem. Because of those type of behavior, now you have to fix your image. You have to be the one that stand up and call out the BS when you see the sexy red of the world or of the American culture, all these other ratchet behavior. You call them out and be like, hey, these are not my type of behavior. Similar to how as men, we have to actually fight the bad actors amongst our midst. We have to be the one that call out the bad behavior from people in our camps as well. Right? And that's what I'm saying, which is, I think you guys play a role in the fact that, like, some of these other cultures take advantage of the fact that, like, hey, these are the bad stereotype of African American women, then we're gonna play that angle in order to actually have a one-up in the dating scene.
Why are these women making comments like this? Am I the problem, or are they maybe the problem? I'll tell you what the issue is. They have a huge problem with someone who treats an American black man very, very well. And that's the problem they have.
Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below about this whole German chick. Do you think she's being honest in her criticism? Or do you think there's something more sinister in her plot, and because she knows that she can garner an audience such as, let's say, the passport bros and those who are more against dating black women, so then therefore that can actually grow an audience towards her and put more money in her pocket? Maybe that's the game. Maybe she's grifting on that, or maybe she's actually being brutally honest about her opinion when it comes to black women, or maybe you think she's full of shit. Let me know down below in the comment section. But then again, I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.
About black men, like, do you...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter. It's just about...
It's okay, it's black or white or
Yeah.
how pink. Yeah.
So we feel like
It's about the character, of course.
Yes.
First of all, and of course, of the...
a little bit of body.
Yeah,
or
but not that
face.
much. The
Yeah.
personality counts.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I don't care at all, but I'm really into black men. I have my ex-boyfriend.
So why are you into black men? Like, tell me why.
I don't know. I think they have like charisma and but I have good experience with them, and I don't know. I have a lot of fun with them.
So only black now, nothing else.
Once you go black, you never go back.